wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
What's going on, chat? Welcome to week 7. We're kicking things off with Overwatch St. Clair versus Fanshawe University. I'm YellCrep, joined by Neely, and this is a banger Champions Division game. We've got the seed number 1 and seed number 3 teams duking it out, and Fanshawe is just looking like a titan in this division, Neely.
Yeah, absolutely. Only dropping one map up into this point, but this is going to be this is a top 3 team matchup. You'd imagine maybe this is their chance to lose a few more maps. Maybe they've been beating up on some lower end teams. What do you think they're going to be playing here today, Yelk?
Well, I can tell you for sure that St. Clair is going to run Brawl, and they are not going to switch if it's not working. That is just their bread and butter. They will die on that hill. They'll lose maps just if it's not the right comp. They'll stick with it because they know that that is their best strategy. They've written like in their team notes that they're not very good at flexing around, but they can definitely hang with any team if it's Brawl versus Brawl or even Brawl versus other comps. They'll just run it into everything. So they're prepared for whatever comp they have. Some comps are tough to run it against, but they run it against everything, so they've got experience. But Fanshawe, I know they're incredibly flexible. Matt is one of their just most talented players on DPS. You saw an insane play that he had last week. If you could tell us about that.
Yeah, so they had Grav Dragon was lined up. I forget who they were playing. It might have been 2 weeks ago. Regardless, Grav Dragon was coming in on his team. He copies the Baptiste, lays down the Immortality Field, saves everybody, comes out, uses Window, and wins the fight. You just think you're going to lose to Grav Dragon every single time. And when you just kind of randomly don't due to a DPS player of all people countering it, I just didn't see it coming. And I was kind of grasping for answers as to what happened.
Yeah, you really can't even plan for that answer, and that's why this team has only lost one map this entire season. But honestly, St. Clair, there's some brawl maps on the table today. We're going to be playing Lijiang, Blizzard World, and Havana. So these are maps that set up St. Clair pretty well to steal a map, maybe even two in a win from Fanshawe.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, this meta in general that we're running into is basically two comps that I've seen getting run. I had the pleasure of seeing Boise State play last week, and I'm sure whatever they're doing is going to trickle down to most teams. And if you see the best team playing Rhine Diva, May Cree, and stuff like that, everyone's going to hop on board with that kind of a comp. They also would run a little bit of double bubble when it presented itself, but even on a map like Eichenwald Point 2, they ran that rush comp. So if you're gonna be a rush team, right now is the best time to do it. And if another team does opt for that Winston comp, if you only play rush, you probably know how to counter it. So St. Clair has a good outlook on today, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Lijiang Tower just kicking things off here for map 1 on Control. Probably the best brawl control map aside from Gardens, that map that has the 2 bridges that can be a nightmare for any comp. That is a map that really does play strong for brawl, so they can honestly get off to a very hot start.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the opposing side, you mentioned Matt. He is very good with those flying characters. I don't know if he'd be willing to pull out a Pharah or not. Pharah can be very good on some of those points, mostly the ones with the bridges, like you mentioned, with the boops. If you're not a flexible team, you're not going to run the brawl, you're not going to run the ball, you'll run the brawl. But, we'll kind of see. I feel like what this matchup might come down to is if Fanshawe is a little more flexible and whether they can edge out St. Clair by being more flexible and being the best team.
And just a couple of quick highlights today. So the lineups are looking pretty similar to what they do all season. St. Clair really only has the one lineup of Apostle and Prince Wada on tank. Prince Wada, one of the players of the week earlier in the season. Kale on DPS, Bailable also on DPS, and then Commanda is going to be on support with Imp. And then on the side of Fanshawe, we've got Magic Otter on the main tank, Moon on off tank, Trev and Matt on DPS as always, and Efi and Acrio going to be supporting that team through their endeavors today. But we've got 4 other matches on the docket. And I mean, the next one coming up, I'm going to be casting with Unicorn. That's going to be a Navigators division game between SNHU JV and Concordia, Wisconsin. That's at 6:30. Just going through the stream schedule. Game 3 at 8 p.m. is Lincoln Land Community College versus Cal State University. And then I believe you come back on the mic at 9:30 for the St. Ambrose versus University of Southern Mississippi game. And then you're on the mic again for the University of British Columbia. Oh boy, that is the map. Or that is the team that took a map off #1 seed Northern Essex. And they're going to be playing UCal Davis.
Should be exciting. Yeah, no, should be exciting. Should be a fun one. Last week was probably one of our best weeks for NECC if I had to bargain. There was a game that went 1-1, so that's a raw tie. A couple of 2-1s, even though it was a 3-0 for Boise. Anytime you get to see Boise on stream, it's kind of just a treat. So hopefully we have more of that this week.
They played the only other undefeated team in their division, the Gladiators division, the best of the best for the NECC, and they 3-0'd them. So they just left no doubt that they are going to be the team to beat in that division, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, definitely no doubt in that one. And Fanshawe is going to be looking to do what Boise did in that game, which is kind of just assert dominance here today, make a clear break to that #1 position. They've kind of already done it all season, but putting any amount of space between the 2 teams below them is going to make them look like they could easily take this whole thing when it gets to playoff time.
Yeah, and as we get to playoff time, I just kind of want to talk about that composition that you were mentioning, Boise State playing, that they really didn't swap off of too much. The Reinhardt Diva, May McCree, and then the Baptiste Lucio, usually the support line that goes with that. It seemed like they were just setting up on these tight chokes, and they were able to find them on all sorts of maps in weird places like Eichenwald, inside the castle, not just playing the traditional path of the payload to find these walls, but setting up in weird spots. Do you think that's how this comp is played? How do you really brawl out with this comp and stay safe?
Yeah, I think it's just making sure you always commit at the same time, you know, because that's the thing is you could go, oh, well, they hold this high ground. Why doesn't the other team just move the cart? It's because they're going to get one free drop on you. And even though they're not running dive from high ground, they're going to be running brawl from a high ground position. And they're able to just drop on whoever they want. And usually they can get a pick. So you're forced to have to go up there and deal with them with a brawl, which can just always be a nightmare. So no matter where you play, you kind of force them to come to you.
And it can just stay alive for so long, too. They can kind of pick the target they want. And then once Boise was able to get on that target, they would just put up a defensive Maywall. So that in this case, UC Davis couldn't really close the distance and fight Boise State until a few seconds after, and Boise had their cooldowns back. They just bought so much time with all of those Maywalls, and I think that's really just how this hero gets played. I'm not seeing a lot of people like use her in an effective way where they wall first. I'm seeing the May that walls second usually is the May that has their team win the fight, because there's always just that hidden value after that first May makes that wall play.
Yeah, well, your secondary wall is going to be up longer inherently. Well, not longer overall in cooldown time, but it's going to be up longer in the effective fight. And with so many BAPs getting played, they can usually shut that down. But no maze on either side right now here, Yelk.
No, we got the Symmetra, and then we've got a full-out dive from Fanshawe. They know they're going to be going up against Brawl, and they just choose to split up their angles as much as they can. Magic Otter goes in for a big slam, and Matt is able to combo some damage with those Echo Grenades to take down Commanda. And now St. Clair not looking very strong. They're going to brawl out in this courtyard before retreating back. Not really staying out there for too long, but they're able to find that kill on the Trev.
Yeah, but all the damage has kind of been done here, and it's looking like Fanshawe's going to overwhelm them here on the point when you don't have your Baptiste to keep everybody up. Basically, all that damage is permanent. The res coming out onto Matt, which is what this whole comp is going to be based around. You're going to have Magic Otter going in there for the big slams to create space for Matt to take an off angle and just lay those stickies into the enemy team.
Big fan of how Matt plays too. He really waits for his Wrecking Ball Magic Otter to engage, and then he goes in with all of his cooldowns and tries to take down one of those squishies. He's got a Mercy Pocket too to make that job happen even quicker, but they really are just setting up off of these tank cooldowns. Now there's some extra teleporter going through the top window as St. Clair tries to make their way onto point. They're able to stun Magic Otter out of that slam this time, but Bailable does go down to Moon on the Diva, who dives him into the back line. Symmetra throwing up that wall. That's Kale trying to charge up this beam and take down Trev, but he's unsuccessful, although EP does fall to Prince Wada. Trev does collect that kill onto the main tank, who overstepped his bounds, and now it is really anyone's game. Kills trading out. Imp with a big boop onto Magic Otter, but it might not matter. Matt has landed the copy onto the Sigma, and the frontline presence is strong. Might even build up a flux in time to keep this point for Fanshawe.
Big bomb kind of zoning him out, finds Bailable, just trying to get as much percentage as they can. Doesn't seem exceptionally winnable, but with this dive comp, you're getting back so quickly. You don't even need a teleporter. You just keep coming back. Big boop, doesn't find it. Oh, it does find Imp right there. And look at this, Fanshawe coming out with 3 more kills. And what seemed to be a lost fight, Valkyrie trying to put him over the top here, yo.
Yeah, I think St. Clair thinks that they can get back to the point rather quickly with the Sim TP, and they chose to take a second fight very early, but that dive comp gets back just as fast, if not faster. Magic Otter is almost never out of the fight. Even when he dies, he's able to get back in just a matter of seconds. And he's coming up on another Wrecking Ball. I mean, I know he's sitting at 60%, but in 2 slams, he's going to have that thing slamming in right now. Goes up almost 20%. And the DPS are just there to collect on that damage, Neely. Anything that is left hanging in the backline of St. Clair gets deleted so fast.
Eat coming out a little bit late there, but it's going to be their last attempt. Apostle goes down, and it's looking very difficult for St. Clair to make a push onto this objective. Fanshawe going up 1-0 on Lijiang Tower.
And that is what we expected. That is a comp that it's very tough to run Brawl against. We can see how much St. Clair is playing together. They're all pretty much in that Lucio speed aura, staying very tightly packed. But still, when those slams come in from Magic Otter, those targets are crowd controlled up into the sky. They have nowhere to go, and then the DPS Trev and Matt are just there. They dive in from both sides, and it's almost unblockable damage because things are just literally left hanging up in the air.
Yeah, Reinhardt is kind of just left to be like one of those guys holding the sign out on the sidewalk, just swinging it around, pointing it all over the place. Can't really find much effect with that kind of a shield, you know.
The enemy is that way.
It's just over there and over here.
Well, we're gonna get 2 Winstons this time. Double bubble versus double bubble here on the Gardens Bridge map we were talking about. Kale taking down Matt early is a massive pick. The Resurrect will come through, and Trev counters with the kill on the Kale. Oh my god, this...
Yeah,
St. Clair team, they thought they had a window, but they just don't.
Yeah, no, that was it. It looks so good for St. Clair so often, and then all of a sudden, Fanshawe just, they find a way to make something happen. Trev, even though we talk all about Matt here, Trev has been very good on this tracer, always hitting the off angles at the same time that dive happens. Kind of a slow, long fight there, but Fanshawe is going to take that one over.
Not very surprised either. Once that kill came in onto Kale early, and one composition had a Mercy for a res and the other did not, it was pretty much all said and done. Like you were saying about these DPS coming in from the side on these off angles, they're not even scouted. These Fanshawe DPS are not even scouted out before the fight starts, and they really just find this free value onto backline targets that don't even know that they're coming. It's just so scary to run against something that you don't even know where it's coming.
Also, Mercy Lucio here, Yelp. I don't know what you think about that, but it seems to be working here for Fanshawe. Taking the dive in, Magic Otter falls exceptionally low, gonna go down, kind of a failed dive here. And hopefully for St. Clair, with the stronger backline, should be able to push right through Fanshawe.
I'm not really against the Mercy Lucio in this double bubble comp. Trev is not going to need much healing, neither is Magic Otter. He can kind of bounce around to help packs effectively on this map. That High Noon is going to find Commanda, and Moon goes down to the Sombra bailable, but EP is going to get that res back in onto Moon. The off tank back in the mix, looking to build up some charge. Bubbling Matt, who rolls into Apostle, trying to find this kill under the Zarya, and does. This Fanshawe team is not giving up anything. You know, we can talk about how they're doing it on Mercy Lucio. It really is just Matt and Moon that you have to heal on this main support. And as long as Acrio stays alive on Lucio and that beat drop comes online, you can bail out pretty much anything.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised. If you're going to run Mercy Lucio, it made sense to me on last point where they had the ball, right? They had the ball comp, so ball needs the least amount of healing. But again, they're making it work, and now they have an ult like beat drop, which can hard engage dive into St. Clair.
No idea how Trev is able to get that kill on the bailable. On the Sombra, should be able to teleport away. The grab comes in just to try and lock up Fanshawe and not let him get away, but it's going to be Fanshawe, the team that pounces on the prey. 90%, just 10 to go, and they are kissing the spawn door at this point. It is going to be Lijiang going the way of Fanshawe.
Yeah, there's no way you can make it unless Rally's fast enough. Remember, wait, Sombra gonna get a touch and a ton of kills here for St. Clair. Little caster's curse there, Yelk.
Oh my god.
But Fanshawe never says die here. They're gonna keep fighting this. They're gonna come back and try to contest. And the first flip of Gardens is gonna go to St. Clair. So what was your prediction there, Yelk?
Okay, that was hands down the worst caster's curse I have ever seen. Magic Otter in the match chat says we deserved that, and he absolutely did. The disrespect touching the spawn door when the other team has the invisible hero that teleports. Great job on bailable, just having the heads up whereabouts to just go in and collect that point. And also St. Clair able to come out of spawn and get those kills behind him. But now the EMP and all the ultimates come in, and it's gonna be Kale with the 3K.
Yeah, that was really well set up there. They EMP dropped the slam in from Apostle, and then they just high noon it while they're still all popped up. They're coming up on a nano boost that can go on to Winston, hopefully get him his primal rage, which will keep a lot of contest on at this point. And Ball, I've always called him primal rage on a budget, just kind of all the time, kind of boop stuff around, really hard to kill.
Yeah, we can also talk about how Fanshawe didn't leave themselves in a good spot with their ult economy. They really thought they had this round locked down, and they left themselves with nothing. They completely invested when they went up to that spawn door and left empty-handed. Now it could be tough for them to regain control of this point.
It'll be Magic Otter falling low. First, though, finds the kill on the Kale. Never dying, he pops the Primal Rage. Trev finding Commanda, and trades going back and forth. But St. Clair is up right now with 3 picks. Moon swings it back onto Prince Wada, and now it's just a dicey fight here, Yelk. Ball ult coming out.
It really is. Magic Otter doing a fantastic job with that Primal Rage, battering through the DPS in the backline, trying to take him off of the map, but somehow Bailable is able to stay on, throwing 2 translocators back onto the map and teleporting back on. And St. Clair remains strong on this point. They've got the Brig comp now, plenty of stuns to go up against this dive comp posed by Fanshawe, and they could lock it down. 94%. This one is almost over.
They have Rally too. Imp with the Rally, gonna pop it early. Gonna be hard to kill anything with this armor going up right now. They're waiting to engage. They've got the touch from Tracer, and they're not answering it. They're just kind of creating a long fight. Stun going out on the mat, and the hack, but he's gonna get around the wall. Acreo goes down, but Moon finds Commanda. Bailable also finds Trev. Graviton goes out. onto St. Clair, and all the picks are looking like Fanshawe, but Prince Wada is coming back with the wrecking ball, trying to make it happen. Oh my.
They could actually swing it. Prince Wada was coming back from the Primal at full HP with his cooldowns. Does go down to Magic the Gunner, but he might have done the job to get his team back in the mix. This flip comes through. Still a few more seconds for St. Clair to get back on, but Commander cannot touch the point. She's barely held off. And that is going to be Fanshawe taking map 1. They did deserve the 2-0. They get the 2-0, but St. Clair let them know that, hey man, we're not falling asleep at the wheel here. We are coming to play some Overwatch. You're not just going to steal maps from us and disrespect our name. You try to hold us in the spawn door, we're going to make you pay. And that was an honestly great showing from them coming out when it didn't look that good, and they made it a very close game.
Yeah, that was a really good grab there from Moon. If he's not able to hit a large grab right at the end, I honestly see that going the way of St. Clair, but he's able to lock up 3 and put him away. Maybe they invested that rally just a bit too early, because it invested, they got it out, but once they had the tracer touch behind them, they didn't go answer it, so there was no way they were going to close that out until they killed the entire enemy team. And with tracer just sitting on point, Fanshawe just kind of waits on the bridge and doesn't engage while rally is up, and they kind of pay for it in the end there.
They had another opportunity on a hacked and anti-Doomfist that was just lingering on the bridge, and he just barely got away. Prince Wada did go and commit for that kill before he made his way back to point, but maybe if the rest of the team committed to that bridge, it's a very dangerous spot of the point. Takes a lot of confidence to go and make a play there, especially the enemy's bridge, but that could have been another look that they might have found success in. But honestly, I think St. Clair is just happy to get some percentage out of that map. They didn't get 200 0'd. That would have been a big slap in the face, not the way you want to start this match. But now we're going on to Blizzard World, and this is a map that can play very strong to comps that are not Brawl. In other words, not St. Clair.
Yeah, possibly not St. Clair, but I mean, they just came out on Ball Winston and they kind of showed that they could do it. They even swung a fight back midway through that Gardens game where they made it happen. So maybe they just go, you know what? Maybe this is just what we're going to play. We're going to beat every other team with Brawl, but maybe we just can't beat Fanshawe with Brawl. And then maybe, they can bring it to a map like Havana and maybe Brawl it out. It's kind of harder to dive that map, but either way, that was just Control. I say it week after week here for anything I ever do for Overwatch. I always say Control is one of the least consequential modes for showing a team's strength. A lot of the times the better team is able to win, but I've seen a lot of teams come out of that Control getting absolutely beat up and battered, and then they just show up on a map like Blizzard World.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, St. Clair, what I liked most about them, and you kind of started to hint at it, is they were running that Winston ball comp rather well. Listen, it's in our caster's notes that St. Clair only wants to run Brawl all of the time, and they don't even want to switch if it's not working. That is something we have in our notes. So I'm thinking that other teams who are looking at scouting other teams in their division, so Fanshawe in this case, scouting St. Clair, they're seeing that they only play Brawl 2. They're probably only prepared to go up against that. St. Clair comes out on this composition that is so far away from Brawl and does well, probably shocks Fanshawe. They probably didn't prepare for St. Clair to actually have that kind of weapon in their arsenal.
They've probably just been picking Brawl teams to scrim against all week. I mean, why wouldn't you? Even if they aren't, air quotes, the best Brawl team, like St. Clair might be in this division because that's the one comp they run. They're in third place. You kind of go, they're probably going to win most of the Brawl fights and most of the Brawl maps. But if you don't prepare for it, you just prepare for that. Maybe this is St. Clair throwing out a few mixed signals. They're reading them wrong from the coach on third base.
Yeah, they could be just trying to misdirect the league, just get everyone off their backs, being like, we only know one thing. Don't worry about us. We're a one-trick pony. You guys can beat us. Just only prepare for Brawl. And then they come out very first map, not on Brawl. Just like, what the heck, man? What the heck? Give us some consistent notes. But honestly, you need that in Overwatch. You need a flexible team. You got to have a tank line that can change up. You can't just have changes coming from your DPS heroes. If you change your tanks, that's really how you change your team comp. There's no role quite like tanks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They set the pace for the rest of the game. If you have Brawl tanks, it's really hard to then run dive DPS with it because they just don't do the same things at the same time. They're all just trying to do a bunch of different things. Then you're just playing ranked, which we all love to play, But,
oh, yeah, don't we?
Oh, yeah, it's so fun.
We love the ranked ladder here. It's so fun. The coordination is next level. But that is honestly something about these esports programs is it is the farthest thing from the ranked ladder. If you are even a hardcore Overwatch player, but you're not on an esports team, you just play ranked, that is so far from the experience you get on these teams. There's a million divisions in the NECC from all ranks, and even the lowest ones like the Navigators in the Emergence division, when you actually get 6 players on the same page, You know, using team comms effectively, grouping up as you should in Overwatch, not just running the playground offense and solo queue ranked ladder, it
Mhm.
really does come together in kind of a special way, and you really get to find that. Even though it's a video game, this is a team atmosphere. This game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you need positivity amongst your team. You can't have the Debbie Downer of the team. It's not going to go super well for you. You kind of need, even if it's going bad, especially after a map like that. I know St. Clair has somebody within their team that's like, guys, it's map 1, warm up round. Don't worry about it. Blizzard World's our map, and everyone's
Not our
rallying
map.
around that.
Control is stupid. We got the next one. Go next. Yeah, there's always that guy or girl on the team that is just trying to improve the morale. And I mean, that's definitely sitting somewhere in St. Clair. If I had to guess, it'd be Prince Wada, because I got to interview him, and that is just the happy-go-lucky Overwatch main tank player you just want to have on your team.
And it's great to have from a main tank too, as we know. A main tank that gets down on himself, like I do sometimes, as you know, can be a little tough to deal with.
I've seen it happen. Speaking of seeing things happen, I'm seeing Magic Otter just dive right in on this boat high ground that St. Clair is trying to control with basically their entire composition. They're sticking on the Brig, they're on the McCree. The Sombra does go down early to Trev off on that flank with the Mercy Pocket. Interesting to Mercy Pocket Trev on this Tracer on quite a flank, but Tracer with the 30% damage boost is pretty incredible. Prince Wada going in deep, taking down 2. Can he get the 3rd? Closing in on Moon, but decides to disengage when Moon and Prince Wada are both at half HP. Should be a hold for the defense, but they've got to be careful that Trev doesn't get any spawn kills here.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for it. And a really good fight there from St. Clair. One thing I want to notice here, though, is Fanshawe did really good farming their ults. They actually did a lot better than St. Clair did.
Oh yeah, they played around St. Clair very well. They tried to stay safe as best as they could, went in for some trades, and now Trev's got the pulse bomb, lines up, sticks Amp right in the back, doesn't miss that one. And now the high ground for St. Clair is looking weak. Matt and Trev both engaged at the same time. Matt's got the Mercy Pocket, doesn't even look like he needs any help taking down Commanda and Apostle. And that is going to be the first point, should be anyway, in favor of Fanshawe.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this double bubble comp, especially with the Echo. I love Echo and double bubble. I think Echo makes the most sense in this comp. Sombra makes sense. McCree also makes sense to protect your backline, make it really rugged and hard to deal with. And geez, they are just running at him. And what my point was when it rains, it pours with this comp, especially with the Echo, because all you need from your team is to hear their half call out, and you just turn the beam on and start lasering people down.
A great dive from Prince Wada onto Acrio, taking down the Mercy. Now Fanshawe left just with the Ana, but if he does have that nano boost online, the DPS do go down very far on the front, but the payload is moving all the while, and this should buy them the first couple of corners on the second point as St. Clair is able to set up a defense.
Grab flies out from Apostle here, trying to make something happen. Kale finds Magic Otter. I kind of thought that fight was done and we were going to regroup, but they choose to engage because they want the cart to stop right here. EMP flying out there, not done here. They're going to keep investing, trying to focus Boone down because his shields go away with that EMP, but great healing from Effie.
And they've got kills on the back of that too. They pocket Moon the whole time. He farms up the grab, sends it in. Now they've got the trades in their favor. Fanshawe's rolling in, and they're going to claim this first corner of second point Blizzard World.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was just an odd fight. It seemed like St. Clair really wanted to push up and push Fanshawe off that, and they kind of failed to do so. They used 2 massive ultimates in EMP and Grav separately, and they're not really able to do anything too convincing right there.
No, you love to get EMP and Graviton Surge out of this double bubble comp. Available goes down early to Matt with the damage boosted headshot. Little help from the Mercy. Seems like Acrio's been on the damage boost for all of these opening kills so far. Matt gets another one, keeping this high ground for himself. High Noons rolls off the back, reload, cancel. Now he's got Prince Wada right in his face, slept. Awfully tired monkey on the point, and that is deleted with a fan of the hammer from Matt. Yet again, 4:20 on the clock going into third point. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, that was Matt just putting on a clinic right there. Acrio, his best friend, so it seems right now, and honestly everybody's best friend on this Fanshawe team. Matt has just been rolling on through, just as Magic Otter is right now with his Primal Rage. They're touching the spawn door again, giving him a wave right now. They have not learned their lesson from map 1 here, Yelk.
Listen, Bailable's got to roll around onto the payload. He's going to kill the Ana. Never mind. He puts the hack onto the main tank right up front to try to win the fight in the spawn door this time, slapping the nano onto Prince Wada, sending him in deep. trying to make it so he can take down Matt, but Matt has had this Mercy pocket all game, and he's standing his ground. This is so confident from McCree to just take away the space from the other main tank. Prince Wada says, no, I'm not letting you get away. Starts to batter him into his own backline, trying to hit him back to his spawn door again. He's like, you know that thing you touched 5 seconds ago? How about you go back down there so we can just delete you? There's no way you're getting out of our backline this time. And now St. Clair, they might be able to roll back onto the payload and finally kick off Fanshawe.
I think Prince Wada was taking out a little bit of anger there on Matt.
He was mad, man.
Matt gets all the support he needs. He gets a nano, he gets the pocket the whole time. He's getting shot by EFI. And I mean, he finally goes down to an entire Primal Rage. But boy, if that's what's going to be what it takes to take Matt out, this could be a tough game for St. Clair.
That was the angriest Primal Rage I have ever seen. Just completely cyberbullying the McCree, and now ultimates are beginning to be committed here from Fanshawe. They've gotten 2 picks so far on the Imp and Kale. Baleable does go down as well. The grab comes out from St. Clair, trying to get a kill onto one of these squishies, but Matt able to burst down the Winston and the Zarya again. This man is just all over the place. He's hitting heads. He doesn't need the Mercy damage boost for all of them, but he is unstoppable when he has it. And that is already a completed Blizzard world for Fanshawe.
Initiating match.
Rhythm. Are you asking me or are you asking Caleb? I should
Caleb
still be in here.
Okay, cool. Sorry, heard some ding dongs in the old call that we got going on here, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, that was an absolute run right there from Fanshawe. Not quite the 4 minutes not the 4 minutes they could get, because you can get like 4 minutes on the clock here. Believe me, I've been on the receiving end of that.
Oh yeah.
But 2:30 is quite a hefty time bank, but St. Clair, they're not just running Brawl, which I like to see. They're mirroring the comp, and they're trying to make something happen, because when you run Brawl into this comp, it is just a nightmare. We saw it on Lijiang. So at least you get some counterplay by trying to run this comp. I would say they should probably swap off Sombra, but that could just be the comp they want to pick. That's what they've scrimmed. They've clearly scrimmed this on the side of St. Clair. You definitely can't say that they haven't.
No, they are running it. They're doing the right moves out there. I'm kind of with you on the Sombra. I think that the Echo pick is just garnering a lot more value. The tempo that Echo can keep up with the Winston is pretty much right on par. It's 5-second cooldowns for the fly and the jump pack, so they can really just pace together the entire round. Sombra really has to just be in the right spot at the right time. Can't always get that done on that hero, but the hacks are much more valuable, and the EMP especially one of the better ultimates in the game. But now we're going to see St. Clair try their take at double bubble on attack. When Fanshawe swaps off, they're under the Sigma Roadhog composition, trying to lock this down with the final boss comp.
Yeah, this is an absolute poke comp. I'm surprised EFI doesn't go for the BAP here, because that just amplifies all of your poke. But either way, this is going to be nasty to try to push into. Lots of damage is going to be going on to the main tank with that Discord and hooks.
Magic Otter going for an early play on the Roadhog, trying to get in a cheeky flank, but he is found out. But this is just Fanshawe catching St. Clair's rotation. They know which way they're going now. They know how they're trying to stage, and that they want to attack this high ground with the bow. And that's going to be Fanshawe responding by kicking their own DPS off of there. Prince Wada does go in, but he doesn't jump into the wisest spot, and he is taken down with a Discord and a truckload of damage.
Yeah, he just wasn't going to have the follow-up to go along with him. He jumps in. Some of his team, I think, was still dealing with something behind them, or they hadn't pushed around that corner fully. Doesn't quite receive the bubble, and Baleable's not with him when he dives. That is going to be the key to this comp for them, is where Prince Wada lands, Baleable already has to be to secure one of these kills.
And I remember we've played this comp. I mean, I've been the Sombra, you've been the Winston, or you know, maybe a Wrecking Ball or a D.Va sometimes. But when you're diving with a Sombra, one way we would set it up when we were playing it is I would just use the group up function in Overwatch. It kind of like lets your player get a little highlighted information, and then I can be like, there's an Ana on me right now. I'm invisible, jump here. And you can stage it very well. I mean, you can get very pinpoint with a Sombra in a dive comp, but this team right now is sending Prince Wada in first, and Baleable's just having a tough time catching up to him.
Oh, whole hog coming into the back line. It's nanoed, finds one, finds two, and Matt is gonna find the third onto Bailable. Matt has had Bailable's number all night here so far, and I don't even know if he was trying to hit him right there. I'm sure he was, but either way, it's very hard to push into this comp. That poke comp that we talked about from this team is just a nightmare to play double bubble into, and at this point, they have the ultimates. I would like to see them just go in here, blow all the ultimates, try to cap this point, and then actually that is what I was about to get to, and maybe swap onto a rush comp that they're so good at, because you can rush this team and take them down, but they're gonna lose rally, which I don't know if I am a big fan of. That is an amazing ultimate.
That is a fantastic ultimate. It can do a great job of keeping you alive through poke comps like this. It can make it so the Roadhog can't just one-hit you when he throws in that hook. This is going to be the Flux comboed with the Dragon, but it looks like the Flux did get stunned out. Not sure if it was a stun or a sleep dart that made it so that slam didn't connect, but the Dragon was still there from Matt to clean up everything that fell to the floor. And that's going to be Fanshawe holding again. Just 50 seconds left on the clock now for St. Clair.
Yeah, we're just going to have to send Prince Wada in here. Give him a nano boost, send the EMP down, and try to take apart this Fanshawe comp. Right now, it's feeling almost impossible because, I mean, Magic Otter is just all over the place with this Roadhog, getting to take hooks. EMP comes out, but the trans in the backline to shut it away, but Bailable's still going to find Widow, and Kale will find Moon with the high noon through the Transcendence.
You gotta get the trance with the EMPs, and Yada goes down to just 30 health when you EMP him, but they've got enough ults to finish this one out. Prince Wada, although he just swapped to Reinhardt last fight, does farm up that shatter. They're able to collect the support line off of the back of that ultimate, but they've still got to deal with Magic Otter now whole hogging inside this green room just off of the point. The Wrecking Ball is there to stall as well. Magic Otter and Moon could be left on this point for a long time, but Kale is able to land the stun, and they're able to take down the Wrecking Ball quickly. They should have this point, but I'm not even sure they win the fight here. This is going to be a very tricky situation to get out of.
Magic Otter opts the heal and gets put away right at the end there. Should have probably just tried to die on point, but I think he wanted to see if maybe he could grab one more kill before he went away, but not going to quite find the kill. And Kale's already gonna have another high noon. That's kind of what helped open up this comp, or open up that fight for them. But he's got it once again because he's doing so much damage on that McCree.
He is, and now that the payload is moving too, you've got the Ana and the Lucio, so there's a lot of passive heals to go around on this Brawl comp. If they do try to dive, but if Fanshawe does try to dive this payload, and there are 6 members waiting for him there, it's going to be awfully tough. Magic Otter sends in a pin from Narnia, but the slam from the Wrecking Ball knocks up the members of St. Clair, and Otter just slips right underneath them and falls into a hack. Now he is stuck in the back line. Fanshawe tries to close in and pinch them from the front, but it looks like Magic Otter is just left here in no man's land. They are able to get a postal with his back turn. Will it be enough?
Yeah, you say dive, Magic Otter here's pin. It's kind of similar. He does it from the high ground, and a visor from Trev in the back line. How did he get there? Takes the far left flank to find Commanda. And I feel like St. Clair is getting beat out by just all sorts of flanks, disruption. It's so hard to keep a brawl comp together when you're getting hit from every side. I mean, look at this red team of Fanshawe right now. They are just all over the place, and Magic Otter is doing whatever he wants with this nano.
I see a spawn door being touched yet again. I think Prince Wada just wants it. He runs right up there, gets stunned and insta-killed, but was it worth it, young man? He's going to argue yes.
Yeah, Magic Otter does get a lot of value here. My guess is maybe he's not the Rhine player, because he seems to just be flinging it out there, just sending his whole body in and trying to just make a ton of space. And boy, howdy is he. Huge shatter from Prince Wada, finds 2, and those are going to get cleaned up with ease.
I like how St. Clair is always able to come right back after they're being held in their spawn and get a good fight going in their direction. Because honestly, if you're touching the other team's spawn door, you're out of position. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong, right?
I don't think you're very wrong. And I think Magic Otter is on the same page. Yeah, he is having the most fun I've ever seen somebody have. I gotta look at his account and see if he's ever played Ryan, because he has done 2 to 3 flank pins from behind and been absolutely put away. He's gonna get solo grabbed right here, and now pinned, getting a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. Might not like that character as much as he did before. And the brawl comp from St. Clair kind of just sitting on point and just riding the card in.
They're able to get second point, put a minute and a half back up on the clock, but it's unlikely they finish the map with any time on the clock. That means this one probably is not losable. for Fanshawe. They might have a chance to win or a draw, but it does not look like St. Clair has a win condition yet. I like what you're saying about Magic Otto, though. I mean, he's showing me that Reinhardt is a very mobile character. I mean, here comes another pin from the flank, almost gets booped to the pit, but he manages to be saved by a slam coming in from Moon that denies that CC. Now Moon sent him to the pit, but he's able to grapple out in the nick of time, but Magic Otter, unfortunately, will fall down like the Spartan prisoners in the history books. Trev rolls in with a kill on the Prince Wada. EP does go down to Apostle. The high charge Zarya gets the nano boost, rolling in onto the squish. He's trying to collect kill after kill. No heals in his pocket, doesn't seem to care. Takes down Acrio, takes down Moon, and it looks like St. Clair, they're going to continue to move this payload.
Oh my, Magic Otter in all alone on a breakaway. Gonna get denied by the team of St. Clair right there. Can't find any picks. He's got to switch off this Ryan. He has been abused more than I've ever seen somebody abused in all of NECC. He's going to go right on over to the Winston pick here, which I think is probably a little more tasteful for Magic Otter at this point.
Yeah, I would say that's a much more comfortable pick for him. It doesn't quite seem like he has the graft of the left shift key when he's playing the Reinhardt. The DPS here are just completely unleashed for Fanshawe. Trev has that nano boost pop in the visor, not missing a shot, amplified so much from Efi, and that is going to be the map, the win for Fanshawe after Blizzard World.
Yeah, up 2-0 is going to be Fanshawe right there. And it was a bit of a clown car from from Magic Otter. He was having a good time, but it seemed like nobody else was really doing that. It seemed like everybody on Fanshawe was still playing serious, which is why he was able to kind of get away with that in this big tactical visor right at the end to cut down all of St. Clair.
Nano visor's so scary. I mean, it's unless you slap up the shield, and right there, unfortunately for Prince Wada, he was otherwise occupied with everything on Fanshawe shooting him. Wasn't able to hold up the rectangle for very long. That is just an incredible amount of unblockable damage coming through. Shots that don't miss from a soldier nano boosted. That's terrifying. But that is the win for Fanshawe. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, I was just gonna say his aim was really good.
Yeah, it was so good. Esports ready aim.
Yeah, exceptional esports ready aim. I'll see him in Overwatch League next season with that kind of aim, especially with the damage he was doing. Unbelievable. But ridiculous. Either way, moving right into Havana here. Bit of a different map. You could definitely still run dives, so I'd almost expect Fanshawe to run that again. Echo's still good. Snipers are good. Matt seems to be able to play hit scan and projectile, so it's not like he's going to get leashed up by any sort of a pick. He can just be like, I'm just going to play Widow now. Who knows? Maybe he's got it in his back pocket, because Havana is a very sniper heavy map generally. But what do you think here, Yalk?
I think you're right. First point, third point especially play very strong for poke comps and snipers. I think Fanshawe rolls out, at least on defense, with something very similar to that composition they played on Blizzard World. St. Clair, I mean, they might go brawl, they might go dive, they might jump into a whole lot of damage. It might not be a lot of fun for Prince Wada and Apostle, but we're going to see how far they get here.
They might find Magic Otter in an unfortunate situation behind the enemy team, but trying to make something happen. And I mean, I know I was joking around, but I mean, they did win one fight at least where he went straight to the back line. And when they tried to peel for him, everybody, including the Reinhardt from St. Clair, turned around, and they found a few picks off of it because everybody was like, we got to kill this Ryan, he's free. And then all the damage from Fanshawe was able to find the enemy team of St. Clair right there. But Havana, interesting map. Long sight lines, probably one of the most broken Widow sight lines on point 3. I wish I was casting with Infernosis. He could just talk for days about this map. I mean, I would just be like, I don't need to say a word here. You got it, man. I'll do King's Row, you do Havana.
To what you were saying just before that about the silliness we were seeing from Magic Otter, that can be a strat. I mean, you send that Reinhardt in, that's a big beacon of damage that the other team feels like they have to deal with. And when they're looking at him, they're not looking at the 5 other members of Fanshawe who were just collapsing on backline. So it's not like Fanshawe didn't know how to play when Magic Otter was feeding his brains out. They knew that he was going to go in, stuff was going to open up, and they were going to find those kills, and they were able to.
I mean, is it that much different than Winston? Magic Otter would say it wasn't that much different than Winston.
Not like that.
Going in, making space. It's a little different. You got cleave, you can hit multiple people just like Winston. I don't really see much of a difference. He just has a fire strike, which I think is a far better ability, in my own personal opinion, than jump pack? Come on.
I'm just
Ain't nothing.
imagining his comms on Reinhardt, just like, okay, ready, diving in 3, 2, just like on Ryan, saying
Mhm.
diving, counting it down, just like, pin's coming. I'm going yard. I'm doing the Hail Mary route, wide receiver on the outside, straight line into the end zone. Hit me if you can.
Absolutely. But if there's one thing to highlight from this Fanshawe team, it's how strong both of their DPS are. Matt, obviously the all-star. I think he's just going to be the all-star anytime this team plays. But Trev doing a really good job on his own. They between the two of them, they can play just about anything they need to for any comp. Tracer and Echo being two fantastic picks if you're going to be a team that runs dive. So I really like to see what I'm seeing from the Fanshawe team, and really I feel like your tanks can do whatever they want. I've always wanted DPS players like this, man, that just kill everything when I go crazy.
Yeah, especially ones that play heroes that go well with Winston. Such a fun hero to play if you're the main tank, just every 5 seconds, just balling out, trying to make a humongous play. And then you've got someone like Matt on your wing on Echo, using a focusing beam and sticky grenades, just doing insane burst damage onto exactly the thing you want him to do. It's not like he's off shooting at something else. He's going exactly on what Magic Otter's going on every single time they were on that double bubble comp, and they're just executing fight after fight. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. What I'm seeing right now from Fanshawe, wait, oh, just kidding. They're just trolling around right now. This is not going to be what they're probably going to be running, but either way, we could see that poke comp again, though, from Fanshawe. They ran it, and it was definitely not a meme. I mean, Hog Sigma, high poke, Hanzo goes well with that, Zen goes well with that. Maybe see a little bit of Baptiste. I think he's a great character right now. Probably one of the best supports in the meta at the moment. He's been one of the best supports for a long time now, Baptiste, but we're gonna have to see what goes on here in this next game of Havana. Absolutely.
I gotta be honest, my game is having a whole lot of trouble at the loading screen, so I might need to dip out and get right back in there. So you just keep on going as I figure this out.
Okay, well, actually, it finally queued up here. They were actually all just kind of exchanging pleasantries on the map, but you know, either way, it seems like the lobby is starting to get itself in order here on Havana. I guess a little bit slow here in the more tropical place of Havana. But we're just gonna have to see what these teams come out with. I don't really have any more info than you right now, Yelk. I'm really just waiting to see what these guys pick, because as of right now, it's been a bit surprising all around.
This is one of those maps where you can just kind of go for that hardcore spawn hold on defense. Does it look like they're going to be setting up for that, or maybe take that traditional first fight way back?
On defense right now for St. Clair, it's looking like they're going to go for the double bubble comp, the exact one they've been running, the Brig on Sombra, McCree, and then, you know, the double bubble tanks of Zarya Winston. But on attack, we're seeing some shenanigans. We're seeing Ryan Arisa, Tor Bastion, the heavy artillery comp, the 2 turrets, the double Tor, whatever you want to call it, and then Anabap. No one's playing Mercy on the side of this Fanshawe team, and Fanshawe has only dropped 1 map going into this league, and I'm starting to see how they might have dropped one of these maps by running these absolute clown card team comps here.
They do like to have some fun out there on their hero picks, and we're seeing that now. Trev is just refraining as much as he can from voice line spamming everything that Torbjorn has to say. This Bastion is going to really hurt Prince Wada if he tries to jump in on Winston. I think he's going to instantly swap off that hero and realize that it is not going to play very well in the Bastion, and it's going to be the turret of Trev getting the first kill on the Imp. You hate to see your Brig go down that early. The massive anti-nade coming in with the dive, synced up almost perfectly, trades going wild. It looks like Prince Wada comes out on top. That's a fantastic placement of the jump from the Winston, but now, I mean, they're not out of it. The tanks, the front line, they're still there for Fanshawe.
Yeah, they are full HP and they are on the objective, but Commando with a gigantic anti-nade. He finds 6 with that, and then they engage onto it. Emort looked really cute in that comp. Bastion coming back, trying to surprise him a little bit, and I mean, they're putting him away. They played that as perfectly as they could with this double bubble. Well, I'm sorry, they swapped to D.Va. Great switch here from Apostle. No point in playing Zarya when there's a Bastion on the field. You have to go with D.Va to try to eat up some of that damage.
Yeah, a very necessary switch if Matt is going to be on the basically infinite damage dealer that is Bastion. He's turned it up right now behind Magic Otter, and it doesn't seem like St. Clair is going to play into that. Prince Wada does step out around that truck and goes down awfully quickly to the fire strike and the damage from Matt. And now it's going to be very tough to choose what kind of target to engage. Apostle goes in, but he's quickly anti-naded and taken down. The nano boost slapped onto Imp, but not sure how much the break can get done. Pops the rally, does block the shatter in what seemed like just a frame, but it's not going to be enough as Fanshawe has the ultimates to finish off this first point here on the bomb.
It truly is amazing what that Bastion pick can truly do, but a big EMP coming out, and they're going to try to swing this one back on the side of St. Clair. Prince Wada trying to do it all himself. No, they're not going to swing that back. Bongo comes out from Moon, and now they're staggering.
No,
even though they want to
Trev!
Gets the big hammer kill on Torbjorn. Put it on Twitter, Trev.
I mean, this just feels like you're showing up to your favorite meal and you find out that the food is cold. St. Clair is not having a good time today, and that hammer kill really just puts another nail in the coffin as this team is on their way out of the third map, because Fanshawe doesn't look like they're going to slow down this payload any more than it currently is with 5 members on it. It's going to be awfully tough to dislodge this Bastion comp time and time again.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to weave these anti-nades into here. You don't have EMP now, which is a great team fight winner. They used it a little late to try to swing it back. They made a good bid for it, but weren't quite capable. Kale might be able to get a high nude off, and that could maybe break up some of these shields, but it's going to be very difficult.
They are able to get the hack off onto Mad, but now the ultimates are just let loose. Trev puts down that Molten Core straight onto the payload, making it an undivable target. And Efi and Trevor are able to clean up a couple of kills of the members of St. Clair left lingering. And now Matt is turreted up, letting the bullets fly. And this is going to be the second point. The distillery phase here on Havana swept up with just about 3 minutes on the clock for Fanshawe.
Yeah, they're speeding right through here. It has definitely not been perfect from Fanshawe, but I would like to see Prince Wada maybe swap off here. Even though he's made some of the biggest plays into this Bastion comp, it just, I don't know what he can truly do into it as Winston, unless you hit an anti-nade, unless you give him a nano boost. There's just not a lot you could do with this Bastion just constantly turreted up with 2 shields. No one else can really follow up on it, but maybe this bomb has a chance. Gonna break up a lot of shields and get the immortality out really quick.
That does get out a lot of cooldowns. Vailable is able to close in on Matt and take him down, but the rest does come out. Acrio falls as well. A lot of kills coming through now for St. Clair, but they've lost a couple of trades as well, and the spawns are definitely in favor of Fanshawe. It's going to be St. Clair setting up this next dive very early, trying to hold them in this spawn as long as possible. Maybe recollect their teammates coming out of spawn, but Matt is just looking to face off against these tanks, and he does go down to the Stormer. That's exactly what St. Clair was looking for.
Yeah, this is where they have to hold. Magic Otter's going to move point, but they will just let them do that at this point. Dragon going right through spawn, finds Moon. Is Prince Wada going to get the nano boost? And Magic Otter just kind of goes, oh yeah, this was not a fun idea. Just kidding, finds the pin and takes Prince Wada for a ride. No jump cooldown for him.
Diva Bomb able to find Matt. Bastion not known for getting away from those very quickly. The payload still hasn't moved very much since Fanshawe capped it, but 3 minutes are still on the clock for them to get a job done. This is a very good St. Clair defense, though. They've got the sight lines for Kale on the Hanzo, who does immediately go down to Trev as I'm speaking. And then they've got Bailable on the Echo now off of the Sombra, and they're timing up very well with Prince Wada on Winston.
Oh, great play from Bailable right there. Finds 2 with the Echo on the biggest of flanks. Gonna get cut down here, but that's as much value as you can get. They play that very well. They do use a lot of ultimates on the side of St. Clair, but you have to use ultimates and you have to hold close against this Bastion comp, because guess what? They're back on the cart, Yelk. They're ready to go, and it's looking scary once more.
The windows of opportunity are just so slim to dive this composition. Look how they've got the Orisa shield turned around, and Magic Otter had his face in front, just the perfect bubble of shields. Now they've got the Baptiste window too. You're bursted down in an instant when Matt looks your way. The anti-nade does land, and they're able to take out Matt off of the back of that, but they should have the Resurrect up to get him back in the mix here. Efi looking to find that Resurrect. Pops the Valkyrie, trying to fly away from as much damage as they can, but does go down to those sticky grenades from Bailable as St. Clair rolls back, and on this dive, they're able to collect the kill on the Magic Otter and push Fanshawe back again. Minute 45 left on the clock. They're doing very well on this third point.
Yeah, a lot of time here for Fanshawe to try to take this, but St. Clair has gotten rid of a lot of it. What looked almost unbeatable, they keep time and time again figuring out a way to make Fanshawe not look that strong on it, but Fanshawe sticking with it. I would imagine you'd want Matt to switch off this Bastion, but they're going for the flank. They're crouching around the right side as if they have no idea where anybody's going. They're very quiet, though. Very quiet.
Somebody play the Pink Panther theme song. This team is rolling in for a super secret mission, but it's not very secret because, believe me, everyone knows about it. Supercharger goes down, Moon pops that. Everyone gets antied again. Commanda has done a fantastic job. She has set up those nades every single fight, and the Shatter does land from Magic Auto, but they're not able to get any kills. Instead, it is St. Clair holding strong. Fantastic rotation to play around in that big flank from Fanshawe.
Yeah, that's been very well played right there from St. Clair. Fanshawe crouching, but if you just looked onto the map where the only other place they can go is, and you see nobody, you'd have to imagine the entire team's on a flank, even if you cannot hear them. But Commanda been the star, and I love saying the name Commanda because it makes my New England accent not seem so bad.
Yeah, she has done a fantastic job on the Ana too, really hitting all those valuable nades that they've had to. You can't play a Winston into a Bastion if that Bastion gets any amount of healing. So those nades are necessary to take down Matt every time, and they have landed. Another one comes in to heal up Prince Wada, saving him from death. But unfortunately for St. Clair, Trev does D-mech Moon.
Yeah, but a little dive coming out here. This is going to be the last fight. Spawns will get slowed in OT, but Bailable onto the Wrecking Ball. Not going for the Bastion swap. Not that he could, but a little more of a consistent character in Wrecking Ball. But going to get slept up in the back line. A lot of kills coming out here from St. Clair.
A copy onto the Wrecking Ball too. They've got the mines built up. You can really zone off the entire point. Doesn't even look like they need to, however, as overtime ticks down and the payload parks right here. 93 meters finished on the third point, but did not complete the map. So St. Clair does give themselves a win condition here on map 3 of payload.
Absolute win condition. You got it's marked in the sand where they have to get this cart, and it's going to be very close to the end. But the good thing for St. Clair is that if they get it there, it's over. There's no potential for OT, so they've given themselves something to work towards here. Not just, hey, if we get it with time, we get another chance to try to beat this team of Fanshawe. They know right where they have to bring it. But does Fanshawe come out with the Bastion again? Long sight lines. I mean, Bastion's not the worst when you just are in this open field and you have to set up some kind of a dive. And Prince Wada definitely has one of the scariest jobs in Overwatch on that defense, playing Winston into Bastion. You have to have a lot of trust in your team to do what they are supposed to do to get any amount of success out of that. And he does it really well. I mean, of course he dies sometimes, but I mean, that's almost entirely the Fanshawe. Yeah, it's what the Fanshawe comp is built around, is killing the Winston just about. Oh, you're going to run double bubble? Well, we have a Bastion, so, like, what are you going to do about this? He wants to sit right here and tango with you.
Yeah, it really isn't up to Prince Wada to just carry the game and find all the kills. It's more his job to jump in with perfect timing and perfect placement of that jump, land a bubble down to deny some damage. That Fanshawe's trying to do with that massive Bastion comp, which we're now seeing from St. Clair, which we haven't mentioned yet. This team is about to roll out on the double shield Bastion Hanzo. I like the look because they're going up against a Winston Ryan. You can really just deal with these shields rather quickly, and it looks like Available is the man on Bastion for this team, able to take down Moon in a flash. Matt and Trev fall. The spawn is not going to be held today, and this is exactly what St. Clair needed.
That is what I'm talking about, St. Clair. Assert dominance right out of the gate. Put on your own Bastion. They are the Bastion. That's what you need. As you said, you need to come out and just dislodge that spawn hold. That spawn hold, if you lose that first fight, it can be very difficult because now you're going to have to take almost 3 fights to cap this first point, which is kind of a nightmare. But now the agreement has been broken, and Bailable is on the Bastion. Who knows if they scrimmed it, because we all know when one team runs Bastion, so does the other team, to kind of equalize.
Interesting comp that they respond with, too. They go on with Moon on a resup, Magic over onto a Wrecking Ball. So they're looking to combo with a ton of damage on top of these halts thrown out from Moon. They know that everyone on St. Clair is going to be stationed around the same area around this Bastion. So if they land a Storm Arrow, Matt throws in some Echo Sticker Grenades. When Moon tosses in a halt, as you see right here, just tons of damage goes in. All the cooldowns get committed onto anything that gets CC'd up and just left hanging. And they're doing a great job, but still, it looks like St. Clair are able to push forward. They don't have their Bastion, but they have their tanks and both supports. That's usually enough to continue an attack. But they've got to get their firepower back in the mix. Available coming out of the spawn door, facing off with Magic Otter, trying to just distract him as he rolls in with his ultimate, popping the tank. Can he land any of the artillery? Kill does go down to Magic Otter. That is a very valuable trade for Fanshawe, but Apostle finds Moon in response.
Dale has not been having a very fun time going into this ball echo. He's been found off spawn basically the last 2 times. Wrecking Ball coming out and finding a little bit of value here. Matt going to be going over to the Orisa, popping down the supercharger. Now that is a lot of damage from a copy. That is basically 2 ultimates just getting thrown at you right there. And Matt has been cutting through this St. Clair team like a butter knife.
And Matt does a great job of copying other heroes in the game that just have the most valuable ultimate at a time. He realized that his team wasn't able to do enough damage to finish off the Bastion that was back in the mix. And he was just like, how about a free supercharger when I use my DPS ultimate and we'll all do 30% more damage. And then Available just goes down in a flash, feels that he's no longer able to play this Bastion hero. Once you get kicked off the point a couple of times, it's very hard to get back on it. And he's off over to the Echo. Commanda going down to Matt early. That is very tough. St. Clair doesn't have the mercy to res it back up. Trev lets the Dragon Strike fly. No mercy from this team. Fanshawe trying to shut down this first point, but they lose a couple of their members this fight, Neil.
Yeah, EFI is gonna go down right there and maybe get a little daylight to the close spawning team of St. Clair. So hard to push into Matt on this Echo. It's such a flexible character. His copies are on point. And there's something I'd like to say about copy, is it's not just about the ultimate. It's about the value you get around it. You get a halt, you get a shield. That's why his BAP copy a week or two ago was so strong. It countered an ultimate.
Going to copy Winston this time is Matt. Now just popping the Primal Rage in the back, where he's got it on cooldown rather, but he is just stalling out members of St. Clair trying to make their way back to the point. It's just him and Magic Otter putting on a show in spawn, living in their own little world, playing by their own rules. And this is just not even fair. When they get a third tank in the mix and Matt's able to just hold spawn Primal Raging, it's just tough. You would love to be able to get out of spawn if you're St. Clair, but today is just not the day to do it.
Yeah, they're gonna engage on a dive here, maybe catch him out again. No, Prince Wada gets put down quick as ever. And now no touch is gonna come through from St. Clair, and Fanshawe goes 3-0 over St. Clair on this match today.
Very impressive. We're through 7 weeks of the NECC, and Fanshawe only lost 1 map so far in the season. They're not going to lose another one today. They're going to improve to 7-0, and I would just have to say that this is my player of the match, getting the play of the game here. Matt cooking it up on Bastion, getting the nano boost, zapping everything down. There go the supports. There goes Available, and that is a payload that just does not want to park anytime soon. 3-0 for Fanshawe. Fantastic showing. Nearly. I already said my pick for player of the match, but who you got?
It's Matt. I mean, he's just one thing that you have to handle. He makes this Fanshawe team look so strong, and it's not even close to the player of the match is. Magic Otter could be player of the match for having the most fun, but Matt, the captain of Fanshawe, always taking it seriously and absolutely dominating.
Yeah, and if we had time for an interview, I would definitely want to talk to Matt. If we could get a chance, Mr. Producer Man, that would be fantastic. Okay, Mr. Producer Man said no to the interview this time, but Matt, congratulations, you played fantastic. So did all of Fanshawe, able to get that 3-0. Don't go anywhere. We got another game coming up in just about 20 minutes. We're going to have match number 2 of the night. I'm going to be casting it with Unicorn. Neely's going to be hopping off the mic for a couple of hours before he comes back. But next up, we've got Southern New Hampshire University and Concordia, Wisconsin Navigators division action. So don't go anywhere.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HYPERX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.